Season 1 of Hulu's Paradise was a tense surprise hit, but now that we know there are survivors outside the bunker, will Season 2 get even more intense, or is the show just going to lose its claustrophobic pressure? As Xavier searches for Teri out in the world, he learns how people survived the 3 years since the day, while back in Paradise, the social fabric frays as the bunker deals with the aftermath of the president's murder and the new secrets uncovered about the city's origins. For anyone who's interested in Munchies, I've got something new to try out, so stick around to the end of the video to see what snack I have selected. So this picks up right where Season 1 left off, with Xavier piloting a plane towards Atlanta, where he hopes his wife is still living. Now the cast returns from the previous season, but we've also got some new additions just thanks to the expansion of those on the outside of the shelter. Shailene Woodley, Cameron Britton, Enuka Okuma, and Thomas Doherty provide more depth on what the world looked like for those who didn't have the benefit of getting into that secure bunker. So what worked so well for the show in Season 1, aside from the mystery of who killed the president? The contained location with somewhat shady people calling the shots helped to add intrigue and anticipation to the storytelling. For Season 2, the show takes a gamble that the same sort of pressure cooker feeling is going to continue once we get glimpses of life outside. Now, before I go on, I have to let you know I've only had access to the first 7 of the 8 episodes. At the time of this recording, the last episode hadn't been completed to allow for a screener copy, so all of my thoughts, positive or negative, are only going to encompass episodes 1 through 7. Now, for this season, the plot is chunked out so that an episode or 2, maybe even more, will focus on a story outside the bunker on the new characters that we come in contact with, while then briefly spending a few minutes inside the bunker just to keep us up to date with any drama that's going on the inside. Now, the majority of the show, though, it is centered around various outsiders, which eventually feed into the main narrative of Xavier searching for Teri and then the impact or influence all of these episodes have on the events leading up to the conclusion. Now, the chunky presentation does make it feel as though the show doesn't have a full grasp on what it wants to do, especially with all of the upheaval and mistrust that's churning inside the bunker, leaving us to then meander on brand new characters without any reasoning or inkling of how their portion is going to inform what's to come. Now, we spend the most time with Shailene Woodley's character of Annie, and I appreciate how it uses her story to highlight the strength and resolve of people despite the odds stacked against them in life. Annie's a nervous and insecure character, lacking faith in herself and then suffering from an almost debilitating amount of self-doubt. But she also has these areas of her life where she is confident, which without the combination of all of these traits, her trajectory, it wouldn't be so powerful or memorable. There's a tremendous sequence that showcases Annie's fierce resolve, and while it's also hugely emotional, it reinforces the hope that has woven itself throughout the storytelling, and in this season, through Xavier in particular, as he unwaveringly searches for his wife. Now, each of the episodes, it's decent in length, making the episodic release worth the watch, especially with the effectively cruel cliffhangers that the series often creates at the end of each episode. And even though the arcs have us bouncing around to different locations and people, there's still a good amount of dread and concern that builds, sometimes becoming extremely dire before rolling the credits without a resolution, and other times just allowing us to watch the series of events and then the consequences actions have for certain characters. The show is also still easy to follow despite feeling like it's beginning to wander into the Walking Dead territory. I'm not referring to zombies or anything like that, just the wandering and searching of people, some of whom band together and become a pack or horde like you'd see screaming through the wastelands in Mad Max. There's even a visual that felt like it was taken directly from the Walking Dead set, with the post-apocalyptic view of Atlanta from the outskirts as the highways are just littered with abandoned vehicles and the city is decrepit from the cataclysmic events. As we get further into this season, the story does begin to focus more on the players inside the bunker. For this area, the mystery continues to grow, just thanks to some vague mumblings and cryptic names that are uttered, which then we don't know if they're referring to people, they're just acronyms, or maybe an entirely new threat. And for this portion, Julianne Nicholson, Nicole Bryden-Bloom, and Sarah Shahi lead the pack to highlight both the power and then the ferocity that they wield over the residents, and then sometimes each other. Now, probably the most impressive and best part of both seasons 1 and 2 has been the soundtrack. The show uses well-known hits and features new renditions by different artists. A lot of the songs still come from the 80s and 90s, but we also get some popular releases from the 50s and 60s. And I also appreciate that while the songs themselves are beautiful to listen to, their inclusion in the story serve purpose, highlighting key elements or emotions the episodes had centered around. Now, there are a few plot lines that benefit from massive story conveniences, allowing characters to get away with some actions that really should have been more questioned. But in the spirit of efficiency, the show allows these to go automatically accepted, which does then keep the pacing quick and not bogged down by some rational logic. Other times, characters, they survive things they really shouldn't. And it's not like I want the key players to get offed, but when just about everyone is impervious to tragedy, some of the stakes are just lowered, or maybe even removed at times. And that can ratchet down the suspense and make the storytelling less lethal than it should be. There's a lot going on this season, and while that's not always an issue, especially when all the elements are complementary and combine to exponentially increase the anxiety, but the story also suffers from just too much going on and not enough focused time spent with ideas and arcs that would create more depth for situations, while also then not reducing apprehension. Sterling K. Brown in the lead role of Xavier continues to exude calm menace, no matter the situation, while also it's demonstrating this massive capacity, especially in this season, for compassion and hope. He does get put into the backseat for a good portion of the season, but that doesn't diminish his presence when he does appear. And even though the episodes jump around in locations and time, creating a sense of uncertainty in the writing, as events fall into place, there are nail-biting sequences brewing that produce dreadful excitement as the story rockets us towards an unknown potential catastrophe. There's sex, no nudity, a lot of profanity, and then some violence. I give Season 2 of Paradise 4 out of 5 couches. There is still one episode that I haven't seen, so it really could screw the pooch in the finale, but I'm crossing my fingers that we are going to get some good and then reasonable answers before then plunging us into more mystery for an ideal, hopefully, Season 3. Okay, did you like Season 1? If so, who was your favorite character? Let me know in the comments below. All right, as promised, I have got a new munchie to try out. Now, you all know, if you've watched my channel before, my extreme love for marshmallows. No, don't like them at all. But I've got here Dr. Pepper Peeps. Peeps serve no purpose other than to put them in the microwave and make them explode. I just don't find them good. I don't have high hopes for this. You can even see that it is unopened here. But I found them in the store, the dollar store. At that. And, oh gosh, normally I would have these already open, and I'm just going to stop talking for just a second. Okay, terrible audio edited out. Here we go. So I've got these Peeps here. I'm just going to take one full one. Ooh, gushy. They look like they're covered in like paprika or something. It doesn't. It has a soda-ish smell to it, like a little bit like Dr. Pepper. Here, gosh, full disclosure too on. I don't really like Dr. Pepper either. I mean, I'll drink it if that's the only thing there, but yeah, not. So this is bound to be just a hit, right? Okay. It's surprisingly much less chemically than I anticipated it being. It does. Yeah, it has a Dr. Pepper taste to it, which is impressive. And quite honestly, these are actually pretty good. I mean, I don't really like Peeps. I've tried several different flavors. Most of them are tolerable at best. These, the Dr. Pepper version, I mean, I wouldn't eat the whole bat, all 5 of them, but I'm not unhappy that I ate them. So there you go. If you like Dr. Pepper or you like Peeps and you're looking for just something new, that's kind of a good way to go. Surprising me. All right. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.